again. It's Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV, talking sprint car racing, our favorite time of the week. And we are so glad that you have chosen to join us. Ashley Stremme and Steve Post zooming our way through 2020. Ashley, how are you?
I'm doing fabulous. How about yourself, Steve?
Oh, are you kidding me? I'm spectacular. I'm doing really good. Back to some NASCAR races. Now that the schedule's starting to come into play, I'm starting to think about where I'm going to some sprint car races. So fingers crossed. But no, everything is good. No complaints at all. No complaints at all. You guys building some chassis up there in Lethal, are you?
We are. That's really all we're doing right at the moment because unfortunately we're not doing a whole lot of racing just yet. But we're building race cars, and I'm getting to watch some pretty darn good races.
Boy, I'll tell you, we don't have a lot of races, but what we have has been spectacular. That World of Outlaw finish on Saturday night, my gosh, when you have Larson and Schatz throwing haymakers at each other, you got something special.
Yeah, I forget who says it. You know, you pay for full price admission for your whole seat, but you're only using the front half of it. That is so true with the World of Outlaws this past weekend. Incredible finish.
Yeah, I'm at home. I'm not sitting on my seat. I'm yelling at my laptop. That's how good that was. And so the All-Stars are up there. Tony Stewart's up there, and he says, "Well, watch this." And we have Austin McCarl and Aaron Reitzel just, oh my gosh, it is so good. So here's what we're going to do, okay? Usually we show you one highlight. We're going to show you two highlights because they were so good. Blake Anderson with a call on Flow Racing for the All-Star race, and Johnny Gibson with the Dirt Vision call for the World of Outlaw race, our Dryden Diesel all death-defying moves of the week.
And now for the Dryden death-defying move of the week, where one driver simply amazes us with their on-track moves.
Does McCarl have one last move in his bag of tricks? He'll lead at the white flag. Buckle up tight. One to go. Reitzel goes to the high side. Reitzel takes the lead back up for turn number 2. What's he doing? Does he come down? He takes the line from McCarl. McCarl to the back bumper. Austin McCarl to the inside. Moves him up the racetrack. It's a drag race to the line. Austin McCarl wins. Wow.
Back on the throttle. We are back under green flag conditions. Larson on the bottom. Donnie Schatz in the middle of turns 1 and 2. Schatz maybe a bit of a run down the backstretch. Schatz to the inside. Slide job. Larson crosses back underneath and they're side by side at the white flag. Schatz to the top in 3 and 4. Donnie Schatz leads down the back straightaway. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time. Schatz will hang on to get the win. Kyle Larson second, Brad Sweet in third.
That death-defying move was brought to you by Dryden Diesel All Death, the official death of the World of Outlaws and wheelmen everywhere. Visit Dryden.com for more information.
Pride. Passion.
Performance.
We are.
We are Team Dryden.
Welcome back to this Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV. And I know we're Wing Nation. And so we're bringing in the reigning USAC National Midget Champion, but trust me, this guy's becoming part of Wing Nation as well. Tyler Courtney joins us via Zoom. Hey, Tyler, welcome into Wing Nation.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. So I know I'm a newbie, but I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I heard John with Rip the Fence. You were talking about you're a non-wing guy when you're over there. And, of course, Rip the Fence is our podcast here on Motor Racing Network. But the winged world, the decision to go wing racing, I know you've done some of it over the past few years, but you've really rolled up your sleeve and got more aggressive with it this year. Just walk us through the decision to do that.
It was a hard decision because, you go from, I don't want to say dominating, but, being a prominent force in the USAC world and stuff like that. And, kind of taking a step away from that to, being, almost a rookie again is a big decision, but it was a decision that we made as a group here at Clausen Marshall. And, something we felt like we wanted to do. We've kind of accomplished almost everything we wanted to do on the USAC side of things. And, with our great sponsor, NOS Energy Drink, we had the opportunity to, build a wing program and, move towards that direction to, try and accomplish our next set of goals. And, that's to, hopefully here in the next year, 2 years, become a full-time World of Outlaw team.
And you wasted no time getting familiar with what victory lane looks like in the wing car there. First night out, you're picking up the win. You talk about the goals with running with the World of Outlaws, but this year, what are kind of your short-term goals? Do you have aspirations that you guys have kind of sat down and hashed out to build that notebook?
So we actually talked about it this weekend. You said our goals kind of change as we go now. This weekend we went into Lake Ozarks just, wanting to make both shows, and then we come out the first night and we go fifth quick, and when our heat race, we're in the dash. And so then automatically right then your goal changes for that night. And so then we wanted to, go out and have a top 10, ran 11th. So didn't quite get that goal, but then so the next night your goals are a little higher. Then we drew bad. So it's just right now it's just kind of, make sure we have the speed, get me, acclimated to this kind of racing. It's a different type of racing. It's a much more high pace, aggressive style of racing than what I'm used to. So it's a lot of learning on that end of stuff. And when you're going up against the guys that have been doing it for, 20 plus years, and these guys are at the top of their game, it's not just, going in and being able to just be successful. It's, coming into the major leagues, and, it's a lot of learning, and I've still got a lot of it to do, but, I think the only way to do it is to run with guys like I did this weekend.
What are a couple of big items that are the biggest difference between the cars, the mechanics of the cars, the driving the cars, just in broad brush terms? What have you learned are some of the biggest differences that you've learned with the wing car versus the non-wing?
I think the speed is obviously one of them. And then, you hear people talk about air quite a bit, and I think it's more mental on my side of things right now, of just trying to figure out where to go and where not to go on starts and restarts, behind guys and not behind guys, stuff like that. So I think the driving and stuff is pretty similar. I mean, it's a race car, so everything's kind of, relevant in those terms of things, but it's at a faster pace. So adjusting to, when to put the car here or there is, something that I'm getting used to right now.
And who are you kind of, obviously with NOS Energy, are you in tight with Sheldon? Are you working with him? Who are you kind of relying on for information at this point to kind of boost you forward and kind of skip the learning curve, if you will? Sheldon's one of the guys I bounced stuff off of. And then I'm pretty good friends with Larson. And so through being friends with Larson, I got to know Brad Sweet pretty well. So even this weekend, right after Brad Sweet flipped in the heat race, I'm going down to just see if he's all right. And he's telling me what I should have been doing on this start and that restart and all this. I'm like, all right, well, this dude just flipped and he's still trying to help me. So, luckily I feel like I have, a decent amount of respect from the drivers down there, or not down there, but in the outlaw pit. At least it seemed that way this weekend. Most guys were pretty open to helping me when I had questions. So it's pretty cool to, come in there and, those guys, treat me, almost like one of their own. I think it just kind of shows you that the high class and caliber of drivers that do run on the tour.
Well, this will work well until you start beating them, and then I think then the lessons go away then. But
and that's something that I'm ready for. But I'm going to eat up as much information right now as I can.
No doubt. It is cool. It really is. Hey, we're going to do this. We're going to step away, and then we're going to come back with just a little bit more here with Tyler Courtney joining us on a Saturday morning here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit. Stay with us. More with Tyler in just a moment.
Hey, Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some Sage Fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
Welcome back. It is Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit here on MAV TV. Putting a little sunshine in your Saturday morning here with Tyler Courtney joining us. Tyler, where did the nickname Sunshine come from?
My first summer that I worked really on sprint cars and midgets was with Brian Clausen and his team. They had a midget and sprint car that we ran, and it was 2010 and 11, I think I worked for him. And so I used to have long blonde hair. And if you've ever seen the movie Remember the Titans, the quarterback in the movie, he's got the long hair. And and they called him Sunshine. So I was just kind of fell into that. Brian started calling me it. Then, everyone around the pit area started calling me it. And, I showed up to Chili Bowl for my first Chili Bowl, and they had put it on my name visor. And, ever since then, it's been more of Sunshine than Tyler Courtney. So, I always say it could be way worse, and it's been pretty easy to, help market myself as well. So I can thank Brian for all of that.
That's cool.
I know your relationship with Brian, and obviously it was a huge loss. He was a huge mentor of yours, and racing with him and getting to be friends and whatnot. But what has it been like, obviously, racing for Clausen Marshall Racing and working with his dad, Tim, and kind of continuing his legacy, if you will?
No, it's been awesome. They've obviously been a big part of my career since, I was even just a crew guy on their stuff in 2010 and 11. So, being able to kind of almost come full circle and be a driver for them in honor of, Brian, who did a lot for me, and not only just my career, but, as a person as well. So, being able to win a championship with them as a crew guy, then come back and win 2 championships now as a driver with them, I think just shows you the kind of people that it's more of, if you surround yourself with good people, good things are going to happen. And that's what's happened since we started this in 2016, at the end of 2016, to, honor a champion like Brian himself. And we've, turned it into something that's, really, really cool, kind of carry on what he wanted to do, and, develop a couple of drivers with Zeb Wise, help make him into what he is today. Obviously his talent speaks for itself, so it's not all of us, but he's kind of, he was our first project. And so it's just something we're happy to work with. And, obviously they've helped me, they've developed me too. I think I was not a champion driver before I came here. And now I believe that, working with them, it's helped me become the driver that I am now.
For sure. Reigning champ, the USAC Midget Tour, and a former sprint car champion with USAC as well. So a lot of good success. So when we look at 2020, okay, and we know it's a mess with the lockdown, with COVID-19, with all of that. What are the goals now? I know you started the year. Well, just what are the goals? What's the A priority? What's the B priority? How is this going to work as you navigate through this crazy schedule that we're trying to put together?
So a priority is the USAC National Midget Championship. We're defending that. So that's our number one priority this year. So anything on the schedules for now, the midgets will take precedence. And then the wing car now is our B priority. Go out and run as many races as we can with that. And then C is our non-wing car, try and hit the big USAC shows, Kokomo Smackdown, Knoxville Corn Belt Nationals. We were going to do some of the Eastern Storm races. Those got canceled. So, and then maybe a couple of sprint make shows, but yeah, midget championship, wing car, try and win some more races than that. I'd really like to win an outlaw show. I think that'd be really awesome. And then, go from there and fill the rest in with an all-wing car.
Now, I know before all this shenanigans in our world happened, the Dirt Derby was on the schedule. Is that something that's still kind of in play there, and obviously how the calendar falls? But what was it like climbing in that truck and learning about the truck and getting fitted for a seat? How has that been? Obviously it's all kind of new.
Yeah, so that was all new to me. And, sitting in there is something I've never done before. I've never been in a Fender race car. So it was different. It was a lot of room, I guess, a lot of stuff that I saw was probably going to get knocked off on the fence. So, but no, it's really cool. So I guess that fall, the truck race falls in there between, A, B, and C. So, I'm really excited about that. It's an awesome opportunity for not only myself, but for our team to kind of, put our feet into those kind of water. And, it's going to be really cool. So I'm happy that I'm one of the few dirt guys that get to do it this year and, represent what we are as a dirt community.
You know, Tyler, it strikes me that there's a lot of times guys run different cars for different owners and different this and different that. You're in a spot where your midget car, your wing sprint car, your non-wing sprint car, and even the truck, the Dirt Derby, all are part of your partnership with Clausen Marshall Racing. How important is that? How nice is that for you to kind of not be making sure the helmet bag gets to this team and I wear the right this and I don't wear the right that? How important is that continuity for you across the board as you jump from car to car?
It makes life so much easier. You know, knowing that I'm going to have a race here this weekend, next weekend, all with the same team. You know, like you said, I can keep all my stuff in one trailer or the other, or it can just go from this trailer to the next one. It's just it makes life's easy. And like you said, I don't have to worry about if I'm wearing the right thing or not the right thing. You know, we have NOS Energy Drink branded on all of our cars, so very fortunate to have a sponsor like that. And so it's it makes life easier. It's just great. And I always know that I'm going to have the best stuff no matter what when I roll into the racetrack, and it's with people that I like to do it with at the same time. So that's an even added bonus.
No doubt. Good stuff. That's for sure. Well, Tyler, a real pleasure catching up with you, and a real pleasure watching you race the wing car. Always love watching you run the midget car as well. But congratulations on the success thus far, and we'll look forward to watching you race wing or without as we go forward. But thanks for joining us here on Wing Nation.
Yes, thank you guys. Hopefully I'll get to talk to you again after I win an outlaw show or something.
We'll work on that. We'll hold you to that. That's for sure. Tyler Courtney, Sunshine, joining us here. Stay with us. Our Tweet Your Seats Tweets of the Week are coming up next.
Power isn't born. It's built over time. For over 65 years, Hercules Tires has been providing the muscle to move more drivers. Whatever the vehicle, whatever the terrain. And we back it with a powerful protection plan. So wherever the road or the trail takes you, we have the selection, value, and strength to get you there. Hercules Tires. Ride on our strength.
We're back. You're watching Wing Nation presented by Sage Fruit, and it is your time of the week. It's time to tweet your seat. And we're kicking it off with none other than the fabulous Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania. These tweets come from Robert KSL, Trout Racing, Derek, and Winged 410s. It was Lincoln. They had 46 cars for the 410 sprint cars. Chad Trout started on the pole, flag to flag. He ended up taking home the win, followed by Freddie Raymer and Tim Wagman.
A lesson to all you sprint car drivers. Chad Trout did his Tweet Your Seat earlier in the night, and he went and won the race. So the good luck charm there. So we want to see all drivers tweeting your seat. Further up the road at Selinsgrove Speedway, that's where the action moved this weekend. Well, Saturday night, they had 305 racing. Sunday, they had 410s. These tweets from Nathan, from Jared, from Pappy Nappy, from Tony, and from KSL. Saturday's the 305s. It was Christian Rumsey getting the win. On Sunday, the 410s, Kyle Reinhardt. What a story. He ran with the Outlaws in Missouri on Saturday night, drove all night to pick up the win. The top three were Reinhardt, Ryan Smith, and Steve Buckwalder. And, we had Kyle Reinhardt on our Wing Nation show. You can find that at wingnation.com.
Now we'll head young man, to Oklahoma for the Tri-State Speedway. This tweet comes from Brian. It was the Lucas Oil ASCS Mid-South region. No surprise, Blake Hahn was your winner.
Further down the road, Riverside Speedway, West Memphis, Arkansas, USCS doing a speed week. The winner was Dale Howard. This tweet from Jimmy.
This tweet comes from James. It is Boyd Raceway for the Texas Sprint Series, and your winner was Chad Wilson.
How about that? Chad Wilson picking up the win down there. All right, River City Speedway, our buddy Dan the Flagman giving us a view of some hot laps. And it looks like River City's getting ready to go racing here soon.
And as we talked earlier, Park Jefferson, this tweet came from Amber. I love it. It was the Ollie's Bargain Outlet All-Star Circuit of Champions. Obviously, Friday night winner was Aaron Reitzel, and Saturday night winner was Austin McCarl.
Lake Ozark Speedway, World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars, Chad, Andrea Cap, James, and Stevie with the tweets. Friday night, Logan Schuhart picking up the win. And Saturday night, it was that thriller that was showed you earlier, Shots over Kyle Larson and Brad Sweet. Some great racing there. All right, so now you want to talk about great shots. Dirt Vision, and we had Brian Dunlap on Wing Nation this week on our podcast, so you can find that out by going to Wing Nation. He shared a lot of details of this, but Ashley, this drone shot has taken over the world. It's absolutely amazing.
It's so true, and I think back, like, what was it, 10 years ago we didn't even have drones? 10, 15 years ago? Now we're getting incredible stuff like this. Absolutely awesome.
I mean, it is absolutely amazing, the video. When Jeff Gordon tweets about it, I mean, it's phenomenal. Yeah, we had Brian Dunlap on. Dirt Vision is just setting the standard right now, not only in the pay-per-view world, but the sports world. I mean, every sport is looking at what Dirt Vision, what Brian and the gang is doing there, and this drone just blew everybody out of the water. Talking about some of our friends, Ford Performance, always performing well, like at Jefferson, Park Jefferson this past Saturday night. How about this? Tony Stewart, look at this new track record.
From Columbus, Indiana, the Rush Truck Center's Ford Performance, Sage Fruit, Curb Records, Advanced Auto Parts, Mobile One, number 14. This is Smoke, Tony Stewart. First lap time for Tony Stewart, 9th quick, 13:355, 1:3:355 for Tony Stewart. A 15th place run, a nigh to go, charging 7 spots forward. Second quick in the group so far. Second lap time for Smoke. Quick.
And there you have it, a new track record, Tony Stewart with that Ford FPS 410 under the hood. Stay with us, more Wing Nation in just a moment.
Hey Ashley, what are you up to?
Oh, I just stopped by to grab some sage fruit apples. Now I just have to decide which ones.
You can never go wrong with a Honey Crisp. They're light, crisp, and full of perfectly balanced flavor.
Oh, hey.
You could always go with one of their classics, the Gala or Fuji. They're both sweet and juicy.
Grown in the heart of Eastern Washington, Sage Fruit Company works hard on the farm and with their retail partners to provide high-quality apples and pears to consumers all year long.
Well, I couldn't decide which ones. Thanks for the help, guys.
I'll race you to checkout.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan, or Kentucky, or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building for America. We're proud to employ more hourly workers than any other automaker in this country, because we build for this country.
It is Wing Nation, rolling along here, presented by Sage Fruit on MAV TV. We appreciate Tyler Courtney joining us in the Hercules Tire hot seat. What a great time talking to him. Always fun to chat with some of our drivers, and we appreciate those gentlemen and ladies taking the time out to do it and visit with us here on our MAV TV show. Ashley, we talked about this a week or two ago, turning the calendar over new. We're starting, and we're not where we need to be as far as racing goes, but we're starting to see a little bit of that as we roll through the month of June.
Yeah, absolutely. Things are finally starting to pick up. Still, like you said, not back to normal, but hopefully we can really start to get through June, and that way, when the July 4th weekend flips over, we are back in business 100%. I've got my fingers crossed, because there's no better weekend than a July 4th race weekend.
I know. Fireworks and race cars, that's for sure. I think a couple of big landmark moves this week. Knoxville is back to a regular season. They kicked that off tonight, of course, weather permitting and all of that fun stuff, but they'll be back with a regular show. And then Attica opened back up this week. One of the states that's slow to open is Ohio, and they're not going to have They ran the race last night. No fans at Attica, but they are back up and running. When you get Ohio on board, Pennsylvania's starting to get up and running. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're getting there, and more sprint car racing to come.
I can't come soon enough. I don't know about you. I mean, these few races trickling in between haven't been bad, but I'm ready to get back to the track on a weekly basis.
Yes, and the All-Stars are giving us 9 glorious races in 11 nights. You gotta love it, that's for sure. Again, Tyler Courtney was our guest on the Hercules Tire Hotline. We appreciate him joining us. More important than all of that, thank you for joining us here on Wing Nation, presented by Sage Fruit.